His wife, Virginia Ginny Thomas, is a major lobbyist for the conservative groups, including the Tea Party.
Washington is broken. It's addicted to spending. It's addicted to power. America's at risk, and I didn't know how far left President Obama and the leadership was going to take us. Maybe we did get President Obama so that we can wake this country up. And you guys are the political first responders, and I love the Tea Party movement. The clear focus is to stop the Obama agenda.
The focus is to stop the Obama agenda? Mrs. Thomas also founded a Tea Party group that supports the repeal of the Affordable Care Act, saying it, quote, kills insurance coverage for children. As for Justice Thomas, he's already said he and his wife agree on everything.
We love being with each other because we love the same things. We believe in the same thing. We are focused on defending liberty. So I admire her and I love her for that.
Now, don't get me wrong. People have the right to advocate what they want. I've been an advocate all my life and remain one. But to sit as the ones to judge the law, to weigh the constitutionality of an issue, when you have clear connections to people on one side, where members of your family are financially and personally connected, where you attend fundraising dinners the night you make a decision to hear a case. That's not advocacy. That's saying that we're going to have health care decided not on an even playing field based on law, but we open ourselves up to the partisan and political biases of at least two members of the court. That, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, should not be tolerated. Joining me now is Congressman Lloyd Doggett, Democrat from Texas and one of the 74 lawmakers who called for Justice Thomas to recuse himself in this case. He also is a former state Supreme Court justice. Also, Congressman Doggett, let me start with you. How can we expect a fair ruling from justices who have such a blatant conflict of interest?
Well, on such an important case as this, clearly Justice Thomas should not be hearing the case, with his wife being ambassador, self-described ambassador to the Tea Party, with the agenda that they've got. I'm really pleased the court is hearing this case. I think it's a very strong case in the court to keep other American families out of court facing a bankruptcy judge because they have no health insurance. And so I'm pleased they'll decide this, but it's unfortunate that Justice Thomas would involve himself in the case.
This is about the health care and insurance of Americans, 50 million uninsured. We're talking about the fact that if these judges, if these justices rule in a biased way, they will impact millions upon millions of people and into the future. This is very serious.
Absolutely. There are millions of Americans at risk if the court should reject this plan. Finally, we have a mechanism through this health care law to assure that families don't find themselves with the fine print of the insurance policy denying them coverage they thought they had. Being able to put their young person on the family policy. We have about 1 million more people from age 18 to 26 on policies this year than last year, I think directly as a result of this health insurance law. The protection that it affords to our seniors is really important, and extending the solvency of the Medicare Trust Fund by 12 years. All of these are part of a very complex health care law that if you remove one part of it, the individual mandate, you stand to jeopardize the entire reform on which so many Americans are depending.
Now, Congressman, let me say this. Many Americans, and I'm certainly one of them, did not understand there was any kind of guidelines to members of the Supreme Court. Let me show you guidelines that apply to federal judges and supposed to be used for guidelines at the Supreme Court, but they're not mandated. These guidelines say any justice, judge, or magistrate judge in the United States shall disqualify himself in any proceeding in which his impartiality might reasonably be questioned. Now, this is enforced for federal judges and others, but it is not enforceable by the Supreme Court. It is understood that we would hope they would stand up and do the right thing. This is outrageous.
Well, it really is a problem because it does cast a cloud over this proceedings. If he should happen to be a deciding vote, it raises a real appearance of impropriety. And I think, as your guest said, it really rises to a different level given her extended involvement and outspoken comments against the president and his agenda, far beyond just the traditional right-wing approach of the Federalist Society. Chief Justice Roberts should weigh in, the other colleagues should weigh in, but we will have to find some type of remedy if this pattern on such important issues continues with Justice Thomas.
No doubt about it.